5, 4,
Four,
3,
2,
1.
Welcome to PnS. Waste your time.
That's
Steve,
it.
they've done it again.
What have they done again?
They've attacked our submarines.
What do you mean?
I was at Subway
God
the
damn
other
it.
day.
Yeah? What'd you get this time?
So, as you know, I've been dieting. I've been sticking to like a turkey sandwich, and we sort of made friends with the lady at our local store. So she just loads
never
it up.
good.
But it's effectively it's awkward because like she recognizes us, and you're like, shit, you know what I mean?
It's a weird place in your life when you go to a fast food joint
Yeah.
and they know your order to the point where are they ever okay, sorry,
Right.
go on.
Right,
we'll
no. It's nice. I think that I don't really care so much about she knowing the order. It's like, you know, it's kind of like Cheers. Like she recognizes us. And you're like, yeah, but socially, it's the most awkward situation, you know?
Yeah.
Because you like
Oh,
go
100%.
in and you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's your plans? Oh, you know, nothing really, you know, whatever, just working. And then you have to stand there awkwardly as they make the sandwich. And it's just like, I got nothing else to say. So I like the lady a lot. I think when you do the diet thing and you go into Subway, the idea is more salad than sandwich at the end of it, and she gives me that no problem.
That's
so,
nice.
But it is kind of awkward socially. But I have to.
I used to. Oh, go ahead. Go
What's
ahead.
that? No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I used to
been
go
a
to
long
when I
time.
was I know when I was dieting in a different way that is not a way. I would go to Del Taco almost
Right.
daily during work because I
Right.
had just enough time to go there and get my 4 chicken soft tacos.
The best. Peak
And-
Del Taco right there.
It got to the point where I would get to the drive-through and I'd be like, I would
They
say my
were-
normal good morning. They're like 4 chicken soft tacos. I'm like,
Oh
Yeah.
my god! So they recognize your car, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I don't know if they
That's
recognize
a hell
my
of a
car,
thing.
my voice, a little bit of everything. Maybe it's just like I'm the only weirdo to come in at like 11 in the morning and order
Right.
tacos.
Right.
And then it got to the point where it went the next step, where there was a new person there.
And they still got
didn't.
your order?
No, I ordered it, and
Oh,
I
God.
hear like
Right.
fumbling of the microphone. They're like, "With no lettuce, right?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like she was gonna correct it, and I'm like, "Oh,
my God.
Like I felt like my order was saved, but at the same time, I'm like, "This is an issue. I'm here too much," and so I stopped going
Right.
because I was like, "I can't handle this."
It would be the most awkward thing is if you pulled up there, someone you'd never seen before was you're like, "Oh, you're the chicken soft taco guy." Shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
But-
there's worse things to be known as, but that
Right.
is weird to be known at a Del
Yeah.
Taco. It's like, oh, that's that dude that comes every day.
Yeah, well, at least you're not like the macho fries guy. You know what I mean?
Macho fries.
fries. I love
Yeah.
those things. And you know
What the hell are
what?
macho fries?
It's the macho size fry. When we were younger, a macho size was
they
basically
gave you a
like
full
a large cup. Yeah, they.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that. At least it's not as
They
big.
don't. No,
right?
they don't do it anymore. The healthy people, rightfully so, by the way. I mean, I'm not mad.
It's not that it's not healthy. It's that it is unhealthy.
Yeah, it was not a good idea to be like, hey, you know what people really want is a large cup filled with fries.
Yep.
They basically do it Five Guys is the worst at fries, right? Because they just
Right.
like, oh, you want a small? They put like a small container in their bag, and they just start heaving fries in there.
I was just gonna say, if you order a large fries at Five Guys, you're insane because you're already ordering a bag of fries.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people do that. They'll go get the large fries and then they'll turn around and fill up that bag full of peanuts. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. You're gonna dehydrate yourself. Go get some water or something.
Such a strange thing. All right, anyways,
is.
you were talking about Subway.
Anyways, Steven, they're at it again. I was at Subway.
Yeah.
And there was these two people in front of me. I'm not going to say husband and wife, you know, paired female, paired male.
Oh.
They were Russian, and I could tell they were Russian versus other sort of Eastern European thing because the man
They were
had
in a
sort
hurry.
of like a Russian. He had like his Russian flag shirt on, which I thought was weird because in the U.S. you see people with like that T-shirt with kind of like the faded American flag on it, and you see that a lot.
Russian flag?
It was a Russian flag, and I thought that was weird. I thought it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
that's just the beginning. So they're ordering their sandwich, and Subway. No, Subway even at the best of times, it's a wait, right? If someone's in front of you, it's going to take a minute. If you're up, it's going to take a minute.
Always.
They
Especially
were going
if it's one of those old people, man, that don't know what they're getting.
We had been there not much. You know what? Actually, it was a few days after that we went back, and there was like a family, a dad and their 3 kids, looked like freshly out of school, and the kids could not sit the fuck still. And it was taking forever to just get them to say what they wanted. And we were laughing, but we got frustrated to the point where we were like talking out loud about how stupid this was. But we were at
these kids are dumb.
But the guy's like standing at the line being like, Gavin, what sort of sandwich do you want? And Gavin wouldn't answer. So they just continue waiting for Gavin to answer. And I was like, ham sandwich.
Like the worst game of telephone.
Yeah.
Worst game.
So fucking frustrating when that happens. And the other thing you see at Subway a lot is like one person ordering like 20 sandwiches for a bunch of different people. And there's a certain point. Yeah. I think I could remember, like, if we were going to Subway and you had to step out or go to the bathroom, I could remember what sandwich you want. If you add another one after that, around the 3 mark, it starts to get fuzzy. And after that, like, you have to write it down.
After that, you're just doing the basic. Everybody's getting a fucking turkey sub
exactly.
with the basics
and
on it.
If I was going out from a party and people were like, everybody wants sandwiches, I'm like, everyone's getting a fucking ham sandwich.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But
yeah, we're going to see either that we're getting one giant foot long or the yard.
The yard sandwich. But anyways, Russian guy. He orders a meatball sub, which is something all of us have had.
Classic.
If you've ever been to Subway, you've had the meatball sub. It's not the best meatball sub. You can definitely go get better meatball subs. So therefore, kind of messing around with your meatball sub is okay in my book. You know,
100%.
It's not handmade meatballs. It's not grandma's sauce recipe. It's a Subway meatball sub. It's good. It's not good. It's not the best. If you want to throw shit on top of it, I'm okay with that. But there's a limit to this.
Oh, man,
and that's the sanctity of our submarines. The man put sweet onion dressing on his meatball sub.
I'm not against that. Let me defend him. I mean, you got...
Sure.
It's almost
debate
like
club.
a sweet... it's debate. Wait, I gotta find a song for that.
Yeah,
debate club. Debate club song. Debate club.
No.
I can smell you.
So yeah, when you got that sweet and savory flavor, I can get it, man. Like a sweet and salty. I used to when I was in college and I was going for getting as fat as I could, so that when I hit my 30s. I would have to work really hard to lose it all, right?
Exactly. We all do.
That was that was the goal. And so in my fat arc of life, I would go to Wendy's and get Junior Bacon Cheese, which was $1.
Sure.
But I would open that cheese, which is arguably very salty, right? There's no thing they put on there with $1. And I would take their sweet and sour sauce.
Right.
Slap that on there, dude. So I got that sweet and salty flavor. I would argue that's probably what that meatball sub with that sweet stuff is.
Listen, like. you frame this in a reasonable light. The point I want to make that's unreasonable is if you go to, say, Wendy's, as you did, you get the sweet and sour sauce and you put some on there. What I'm expecting is a burger with some extra sauce on it, right?
Yeah.
If you know it because you've been to Subway. If you ask for sauce, what you're getting is soup. You're getting a fucking pile of sauce. And that was really it. There was as much marinara sauce on this sandwich as there was sweet onion after he asked for it. And that might not be his fault. Still? Yeah, the Russian guy. He might have at some point said, I think they'll give me a reasonable amount of sweet onion dressing. But he got a fucking load of it. And this is my problem. If it was caramelized onions, I'd think it was odd, but I could go with it. But it's basically like onion salad dressing at the end of the day. I can see it on chicken. I cannot see it on a meatball sub for which there is already sauce. Never mind. And this made it doubly worse somehow in my mind. The guy also got like lettuce, tomato, onion.
Oh,
cheese.
To me, that's worse. Like having lettuce on a meatball sub is worse to me than the weird sauce.
So it's like you add all that together. What you effectively have is like an onion salad dressing or like an onion salad on top of your meatball marinara sub. It's not even a meatball sandwich. It's meatball sub. And honestly,
that's weird.
As an American, I was offended. And I'll tell you why, Steve. Because the most American sub sandwich, as anyone who's ever gone through primary school in this country knows, ham
Grilled
sandwich.
cheese. Oh,
ham and American. You want to show the world the most American sandwich? Thin, unsatisfying slice of ham, Kraft American cheese, white bread.
Can I just say, like, American cheese is the worst. Like, it's just it's like processed garbage cheese. Comes in a weird plastic wrapper.
Are you insulting America?
I just saw Oppenheimer, and I need to watch what I say. Because I feel like we're heading towards that same world of MacArthurism and anti-communist. But I will say it on the airwaves right now to all 8 of you.
8 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Thank you, 8 people.
I'm not American. I'm not into American cheese. I would rather have cheddar cheese at all times.
Okay.
In fact, even when I have apple pie, I want American cheese on it, not that nasty, flappy American processed crap.
But I can accept that on the basis that cheddar also originates from the Western world. If you had said like Swiss cheese, I would have been calling my local senator, honestly. But
is there a Russian cheese? I mean, I'm trying to think now. There's not a lot of Russian food. Is that an American propaganda thing?
Is there much Russian dairy out there? See,
is there
Western
much Russian
Europe,
anything here?
There is. Not really.
Have
what's
you ever?
a Russian
I've never walked
food
around
item
and
just have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I've never seen a Russian restaurant. I've never seen Russian drinks or snacks or any of that. I wonder if that's American propaganda keeping the Russians down. Not to say that
maybe it is.
From the Cold War era or something. I mean, ever since World War II. But now that I think about it, I've seen everything else.
Well, I guarantee you, if you were Russian, like ethnically Russian during the Cold War, you probably didn't have the best time in this country.
No.
And that's the weird thing. It's funny you bring in Oppenheimer because all these guys had to go way out of their way to be like, I'm not a communist. I've never been associated with communism, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, can't we just be like, no, I like it here, that's why I'm here? But no, it wasn't enough. But I digress, because it's too close to a real opinion.
That's my opinion!
But
can't have any of that.
None of that shit here. But anyways, I accept that American cheese may not be to everyone's taste. We are the greatest country in the world, and that requires making some enemies. But cheddar cheese.
Are we?
Cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese. Still pretty good cheese. I'll go with that. If anything, I would call American cheese a tribute to cheddar cheese at the end of the day. It's almost like somebody said, I want cheddar, couldn't quite hack it, and now we have American cheese.
Oh, this is close enough. I think that's America. We're not the... It
doesn't need to be exactly.
I'm gonna get so many emails, probably at least 6.
Let's go.
America, not the greatest country in the world. We're just good enough.
Just good enough.
That's what I'm gonna say. We're good enough.
I truly believe... Let me hold on a second.
That's my opinion!
America, the underpinnings of America are really attractive to me, and they always have been. But the rest of it, in practice, not the best. And I accept that every country is kind of like that.
Everybody's got their good side, their bad side. Grass is green, grass is blue. You know.
That's right.
TikTok stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now.
You want to know what's not great about America?
Medical system.
Exactly.
However, with that idea, I found out how to use my insurance better because I'm young and don't really understand it. So I've logged into my insurance provider, which I didn't know you could even do. I just assumed it was like a card you held, like a communist card, and be like, "Yep, this is mine. This is
Have
me."
you ever been affiliated with Kaiser Permanente? Yes or no, Dr. Oppenheimer?
But I found out as a hypochondriac, they have 24/7 urgent care doctors on your website to message.
Right. Yeah, that's a big thing now. You just text a doctor now.
I don't know if I like that very much as the person I am because I could describe my symptoms and they may not look the same. For example,
about like WebMD, like that WebMD.
It's pretty much that, but with either a live or an AI. It might be AI, to be honest.
Everything looks like pancreatic cancer. That's for sure.
Yeah, So I do it, and I put in my symptoms, and it asks you like what you've been doing and stuff too, to kind of see if it can relate. I'm like, cool, this is probably what I have. I need to go get it treated either way. So I go to urgent care in real life, not virtual world, and I give him the same spiel, and the doctor's like, probably swimmer's ear, and he looks at my ear and just gasps. He's like, whoa. I'm like, what? What's up? And he goes like, because he asks you your pain tolerance or your pain level, and I'm like, like a 3 or 4. And he goes, dude, this is like a 6 or 7 in here. And he's like, your inner ear's infected. And he goes, the other side goes, this one too. I'm like, nice. Man. So AI did okay, but
what I find interesting though is that you're not at all disconcerted. You're more disconcerted by describing your symptoms to a robot that was like heart attack, and you were like, nah. You were pretty ready to reject that, but the doctor's like, wow, this is horrible, and you're like, meh, not really.
I was okay with swimmer's ear, but you tell me it's worse. I don't know.
Nah.
I have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah, well, good for you, man.
The worst part about urgent care, okay, so they you have to do a copay based on your insurance, yada yada, and so their card machine was down,
right?
And where this urgent care is, and for all 8 of you out there, don't you dare try to find where I live by figuring this out, but my urgent care is like 500 steps from my bank.
Nice.
And so their card is down.
So you can just walk right across and have them steal all your money. They can come with you.
Exactly. I was like, just come on over. Just take it all down. And so she's like, I can either bill you, or if you have cash. I'm like, well, the ATM's like right there. Can I just go get the ATM? She looks at me and goes, well, we can bill you. I'm like, no. I'm just going to walk out and I'm going to do this. And she kind of gives me the look like, okay, but if you're not back, we're going to bill you. And it didn't cross my mind until I started walking across the street. Like, this bitch thought I was going to try to run away without paying my copay. Like, what are you going to, like, what?
Why is that a reasonable thing? You had to identify the shit out of me to give me medicine here.
Right, why would I lie about this?
Yeah.
And why give me grief if I am lying about it? You're going to bill me anyway. So anyways, I walk across the street and I get to the ATM, and I don't think I've ever seen that ATM busy at 6 p.m. And for some reason, 4 people were there.
So you're already anxious from being basically grieved because you want to walk across the street. She's definitely watching you. Because
I want to pay her now and not... I don't want to get a bill later. I have the money now. I don't want to do it later. Right. So I'm sitting there. The first lady goes through fine. The next lady's at the ATM, and I don't know what she's trying to do.
Right.
But I swear it takes like 20 minutes.
A proper Subway patron right there.
All I can think of this entire time is this urgent care person's like thinking he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
He's not coming back. This is BS.
Did you like turn around, like face the urgent care and kind of like gesture towards the lady, like, what am I supposed to do here?
They're both facing the same direction, so that you can't so they're next door to each other. They're not.
It's like you're sneaking around the bank. Like, anybody watching? I'm gonna run away.
And so oh my fuck. But anyways, ended up getting the cash. Not a big deal. But but dude, the urgent care debacle. And then I get back in there. When I get in there, there's this couple that comes in. And I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but I do constantly, because if that's my first impression, that's what you have to go on. I don't have their personality yet. Right. And they go in there and they're dressed in all like ripped off denim vests and jeans and stuff. And they
must really need the urgent care. Must have gotten torn up by a tractor or whatever industrial.
That's all I could figure. But they got their kid with them, and they're like having a fit because they're like fourth in line and they need to go right now. They're like, it's an emergency.
Okay.
And the urgent care is sitting there talking to him, and I feel bad, but at the same time I'm thinking, why won't they tell her, if this is an emergency, go to the damn hospital?
Right.
Why are you here? This is an urgent care. This is like where you go and you got a throat infection and you don't want to sit in an ER for that. Like, not where you go if you're like, I'm having a heart attack. Yeah. Like, that's not your first choice.
Yeah, well, I always took urgent care as basically a supplement to your normal doctor, right? Like, you aren't going to get an appointment immediately with your primary care. And if you're at a point where, like, your ear hurts, your throat hurts, you're definitely sick, urgent care fills that gap. They can get you somebody right away. Something.
Well, a lot of times your primary doctor won't even see you if you have symptoms.
Right.
It's like urgent care is the first line or second line of defense, I should say.
Right. Fair enough.
When you've given up on hot water and milk, tea and honey. I don't know what people do when they're
when
getting
your
healthy.
colloidal silver and your activated charcoal no longer seems to heal your symptoms.
When you're done pulling the leeches off, you get to the urgent care. Go see.
I would love
used to be Surgeon Barbers, right?
Surgeon Barbers, exactly. I would love the old style urgent care to just basically be Surgeon Barber status, where you're just like, Doc, I'm feeling a little sick. I was wondering if I could get, some extra strength ibuprofen or something to get through it. Doc goes, we're going to start off with a tincture of turmeric and pomegranate juice fermented in this little batch, my own recipe. And I'm like, is this medicine? He'll be like, absolutely, it's medicine. I studied at Harvard.
This licorice root first, and then we'll treat your symptoms, boy.
A poultice of sorghum and horse manure will clear that right up, sir.
Incredible. Got a hangnail, chop the finger off.
Right off.
Oh, man. And then they get to give you a nice mustache.
Yeah.
I always wondered, were they better barbers or were they better surgeons? And did you... you're like, yeah, I love my surgeon, but he's a shit barber, man. All he does is bowl cuts and mullets.
What's crazy is the higher class you got, the less of your own hair you had. Because it was all about wigs, right? They would. I don't know if they shaved their heads, but even in the paintings, you can see it. None of these guys showed off their actual hair. They basically just wore a wig over the top of whatever they had.
And the wigs weren't, cool looking by any means. I don't know if they were... I mean, I guess they were the style then, but... They don't look good.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here kind of going like, what hair is the barber actually shaving off of you?
Oh. We got a physical, and then we got a physical.
We got a physical, and then we got to trim the head.
Let me see that butthole. Oh, man.
It is kind of weird because I've definitely been in situations where people are like, it's an emergency, it's an emergency, it's an emergency. And a room full of people who have been there before them are obviously like, nah, give me a break. But I was when I was real young, we were at the hospital for my brother. And it seemed like a really big deal. And when we brought him in, the doctors agreed it was like a really, really big deal. So we were like number 2 in line in this room. And then they brought in like car crash victims who were like, fucked up, and we were like, we got to go to another hospital because we're gonna be here for fucking ever.
Yeah, they immediately go to the top.
Like, which seems fair. I mean, that's triage, but urgent care, I thought the rules were a little different because even like urgent cares will send you to the hospital. They'll turn around and be like, we can't really treat you. You should probably go to the hospital.
It says that on their sign. They go, hey, if this is an emergency, dial 911 and get the hell out. Like, that's not us.
Do not walk in here.
Please do not come in here.
Yeah. And I feel like some people go to urgent care to try to avoid like ambulance or hospital copays, which is fair because it's fucking expensive. But at the end of the day, it's just what I said. That urgent care is prepared to treat sort of routine illness.
Yeah.
But the emergencies are still a hospital thing. Urgent care doesn't have their MRIs and X-rays. The hospital does. Yeah.
No, they'll send you to a... Sorry, MRIs and X-rays put me on any other idea, but I'll come back to it.
No. Tell me all about your...
They found stuff in me.
Really? What sort of stuff?
Okay, so
like
first
sex
off,
stuff? Like
no,
found that
like
pocket rocket after a few years?
No, I hit that well. So we're gonna go real far back. The aliens thing with the Congress, right?
Right.
My big issue with that. Play the opinion.
Play the opinion.
Alrighty, so that Congress hearing, there was no proof. I'm a big alien advocate, you know me, huge into conspiracy and cryptozoology and yada yada.
Right.
And there was no facts. It was just this guy whistleblowing to a bunch of idiots in Congress, which I'm sorry, Congress, you're idiots.
Yep. They are.
I believe one congressman listens to us. And that's
he listens to us, and that's how he bases his decisions. Which, by the way, don't do that.
Don't do that. We highly recommend you not doing that. But anyways,
we're gonna cue up the banjo music just to refresh everybody on our track record on accuracy. All right.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful music. And so we got this. Yeah. So that happened, right? Mm-hmm. And then what was worse than that for me is the amount of TikToks and podcasts that talk about it. Yep. Right? It just blew up.
Sickening how anyone would talk about this for any length of time.
So I'm not going to talk
UFO
about
hearings,
that.
which took place last week.
Last week, yeah. And it's disgusting, and you shouldn't do that. But I'm going to talk about my experience with aliens instead. So anyways, about when I was 9 or 10 years old, I had this thing that was going on. I didn't know what it was about, but I would wake up every morning at 3 a.m.
Right.
Every morning. And there'd be weird shit that happened. So I'd wake up, and my shirt would be on backwards, or I'd have, like, clothes missing, or, like, stuff would be knocked over in my room. Things like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And I lived on the second story away from kind of the rest of the house. So my bedroom was there. My parents were like downstairs. There was, I was pretty secluded.
Right.
And then, I think in 2000 and I want to say 6 or 7, a movie came out called The Fourth Kind.
Yeah, I remember this.
And this movie freaked me out. First off, I didn't know it was a mockumentary. I thought it was a teenager.
You thought it was, sure.
Well, because the way they did the movie is they showed like the edited film, and then they showed the OG, quote, original, videotapes.
Right.
And all these people talked about, like, I would wake up at 3 a.m. and see big eyes. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and my stuff would be on backward. And I'm like sitting here thinking, what is this? What is this movie? Right. and then they talk about aliens abducting you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So freaked me out for about 2 weeks. Let's flash forward in Steve's life. 5 years.
Okay.
So 5 years later, I'm 19 now. I'm about to go to college. I'm getting physical and stuff, and they're taking X-rays, and they find odd objects in my hand and in my spine. I've never broken a bone. Let me just say that right now.
Okay.
They found something in my spine, and they can't tell me what it is. That's all they said. They go, we can't tell you. We don't know what this is.
We can't tell you, like it's classified? Or like...
No. They're like, we don't know what this is.
Unidentified object inside of it?
Oh my God.
Wow, this went from 0 to 100.
Let's do that one more time. I like that a lot. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. No.
Oh, yeah. That one's probably better.
I like that, though. So they find, they say there's something in there. We don't know what it is. We're not going to go digging it out because it's not hurting you or anything.
Right.
But they were looking at that. And then in my hand, they told me it's one of two things because they weren't sure, but they think they know what's in my hand. It's either an unidentified object of some sort or floating bones.
A floating bone? Like
bones
will just detach and just kind of chill out?
Their idea behind it, because they know your medical history and they know your athletic history for what I was doing.
Right.
And because I was really into martial arts through high school and middle school.
Okay.
They think, like, by doing all those tournaments and everything, I may have, broke a small bone by punching. Right. And it just kind of floated around. Which I'm like, fine.
Terrifying and interesting.
Yeah, I was like, fine, whatever. There's worse things than that. But the back thing still freaks me out to this day because they're like, I don't know.
They can't tell me what it is.
And then what's even weirder is it doesn't
FBI
it doesn't
agents
go
come
off.
into the room and be like, you need to leave. There's nothing here for you.
Yeah, after this podcast goes live, it's gonna go down off the air. The Men in Black are gonna come.
Well, it's been good knowing you, Steve.
I appreciate every moment. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I may have been abducted by aliens as a kid.
Who inserted an extra bone or two, which didn't take. Yeah, because they're experimenting, and they later found it on X-rays.
Yeah. So who knows what that's about?
That is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It is terrifying, but it's objectively true. We all know it.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the aliens to get down here and hopefully solve all Earth's problems.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, nice. I feel like the aliens are looking at us and kind of like face palming, but they're just kind of, it's like it's good TV. There's going to be a point where they'll be like, okay.
I feel like it's a lot like us watching a panda like fall off the trees. It's like, oh, it's endangered, but it's not endangered anymore, but you know what I mean? It's cute. It's cute to watch them fail. And that's probably what they're watching us as. We're an endangered species. We have one planet, and we're just fucking up. They're like, oh, look how cute they are, sucking
look
at
them stumble around and fall on their face.
Awkward.
Shit like that. I had a guitar teacher, and he was a really great guy. He had great theories on aliens, but the best one he had was, imagine you were like tramping through a jungle as a human, and you found a lake, and you needed water from the lake. But in between you and that lake were monkeys, right?
Lots of them.
Not necessarily idiotic life forms, but not at the same level as you. Are you going to stop and like talk to the monkeys or negotiate with them for the water? No, you're just going to go around or through them to get the water. And I feel like that's probably the most accurate. There will be a point, statistically speaking, there has to be, where eventually we'll run into other intelligent life. At least
I will argue against that, though, because monkeys don't talk to you.
Right.
And there's a big difference between screeches and squawks and language. I mean, even like if I don't understand a language and I hear someone speaking Latin,
I forgot you were pretty up on animals. Let me rephrase. I think why I like the example so much is you can recognize that they're life forms and that they're doing their thing. But are you really going to regard them when you have like a need
with intelligence
and there's you have an objective in mind? Not really. And
that's a good point.
Well, I think the interesting thing, and this pulls from Star Trek, right? There's that episode, we were talking about this recently, where Riker's like on that planet that's just about to crack warp, and that means, they show up to make sure they're responsibly using warp because now it affects everybody. But ultimate conclusion is the people on the planet aren't ready for it, and there's a lot of different things. Unless you are observing in that capacity and kind of doing this prime directive, like we really don't want to impact them until a certain point, you're not going to really regard them at all. No. Right? If
and
it's
that might
really
be what
just
they're
about,
doing. Yeah.
If it's purely like, hey, I want to study you or I want to study your planet, and that's how it is, they're not going to make themselves known. But either way, statistically, we will eventually run into other intelligent life if we don't wipe ourselves out, which seems more likely these days.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I believe we've made contact. I believe in all that stuff. It's just for Congress to do that right now and that whistleblower, it's like, but there's no images, there's no evidence.
There's no nothing.
The only evidence we have are the stuff that was declassified, which is already open to everybody. We already know there's aliens and UAPs.
Yeah.
I want to see what's in Antarctica.
Yeah, and to be totally fair, this is still a society that will mistake a weather balloon for a UFO. That happens a lot. People there isn't like a government hotline where you call and say, hey, I'm going to go I'm going to go set off a weather balloon. Unless you're already a government agency, in which case they don't really tell each other anything anyway.
No, they don't.
The Air Force or whoever watches the radars go, oh, I just saw a blip on the screen. Okay, it's no longer a concern because it went away. And that's pretty much it. There is no Skywatch. It's
not in our airspace. It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody cares. I find it interesting that we're chasing it down now, because the reality is, if there really has been alien contact and it's been with the government, there's no way they're going to declassify it, and there's no way they're going to let a whistleblower come out and
my big issue with that too, and I don't know if this is me getting older, because I used to be a lot more doe-eyed about the alien idea. Sure. I still believe they're here, but why would aliens give a rat's ass to what our leaders say? No, they know better, right? Yeah. I mean, if they know enough to be able to fly galaxies in no issue, then they should know more than we do. And why would they wait
to your
for
leader
these
thing is kind of makes no sense, huh?
I mean, the corruption of every government has some corruption. There's no perfect government out there. Sorry, Sweden. Yeah. You're not perfect.
And damn you, Sweden.
Yeah, you think you're great.
With your high-minded anti-corruption.
Ooh, I make meatballs with the white sauce. Get out of here.
I used to fight Russians.
I love Swedish meatballs, man. They are so good.
Swedish meatballs are pretty good.
Yeah.
We're never going to have them again after that. The king of Sweden right now, it's putting us on a no meatball list.
He's writing an angry letter.
We're going to be banned from every IKEA forever, which is a bad thing because, honestly, most of my furniture is from IKEA.
I've never been to an IKEA.
Listen, hey, King Sweden guy, if this offends you, Steve and I are happy to fly to Sweden at your expense, of course, and we'll apologize.
Yeah, absolutely. At your expense, I will gladly bow, apologize, eat some meatballs, and at your expense, come back home.
You know what? We'll do it at least 3 times a day while we're say booked at your expense in a hotel in downtown Stockholm. 100% I'm willing to do that, and I understand that, maybe you're not familiar with such humility, but that's the lengths at which I'm willing to go to rectify our situation.
I love my job. I really do, but I will quit it and let you pay for my house.
Absolutely.
And ship me out there for like a day or two and then send me back. with like a couple $100 million, I'm fine with that.
Happy to do that. Happy to apologize for.
How is it my fault
less than
now?
50 mil a year, something like that. No
problem. I'm willing to do it, Sweden.
Right.
Freaking hell.
Just listen.
Also, New Zealand. Come on.
New Zealand. There's no king in New Zealand, though. So we're going to have to go talk to that one cool prime minister, unless she's been voted out. She's the cool one.
I don't think so. I like their accent.
Yeah. It's like Australia, but more.
It's like, hey, what's up? I'm New Zealander. Something like that.
Yeah. It's like I'm talking to someone from New Zealand right now.
Isn't that good? Yeah.
Hey, put Steve back on.
Oh, shoot. Do we have any emails or shout-outs?
We do have shout-outs as normal. As you remember, Keith dethroned Adrian.
He did.
I know that they've decided to opt for a duel by Holmgang, which, as you'll remember, is that traditional Viking duel. They'll stand 5 paces apart and swing axes at each other until one of them is dead, and whoever remains after that gets the next shout out. Unfortunately, while that's still in progress, we can't do it. So, acknowledgement to our dearest fans that are prepared to fight to the death for our shout out. Likewise, honorable mentions to the remainder.
I did receive an email.
What was the email? Tell us all about it.
Sure. So it says, "Dear PnS, waste my time." Well, it's waste your time.
Hi, good to see you.
Crap.
Good to hear from you.
I hope this email finds you in good spirits. My name is Gaborkachev. I think that's what it says.
Hi, Gaborkachev.
And I am reaching out to you because I admire your wisdom and thoughtfulness. Look at this guy. Or woman. I don't know who it is yet. Well,
yeah, it's sort of a non-gendered name, Gaborkachev.
Yeah. Without going into too much detail, I am currently navigating a few key decisions related to my career, relationships, and personal growth.
Okay.
I respect your experience and judgment and believe your input could be instrumental in helping me make well-informed choices.
Okay. Gaborkachev.
Yeah, and he's saying if you're open to offering your counsel, I would be immensely grateful to connecting with you by call. Oh, he wants my phone number. I don't think we want to do that. He didn't even ask a question. He just wants to contact us. Should I email back?
I feel like we should email back, and we should say something along the lines of...
What's your question?
What's your question? What life goals are you dealing with, Gaborkachev? If it's navigating a burning building, you come to the right place. I could tell you all about that. If you're trying to shear sheep on a rainy day in the south of France, 100%. We're the guys to ask. But we got to know the question. What do you say?
What are some essential tools and techniques?
Wow, that was a quick
beginner.
Email. Is Gaborkachev in your home?
No, I'm home alone right now. What are some essential tools and techniques?
Is Gaborkachev like an alien, Steve? Is he? Is that what? Is all of the rest of this just kind of been a tip-off that there's this alien there that's asking you questions?
And my name is Steve.
And my name is Pete. And this has been
Waste your time.
Waste your time.
Damn it!
PnS Waste Your Time is a production of Pete and Steve. All characters and events in the show are entirely fictional, and any resemblance to any real people are entirely coincidental.
I just want to thank you, baby.
I want to thank you.